Welcome to CallumConnects, 5-minute entrepreneurial inspiration for your day. In this episode, we hear from Doug Peris. Doug is an entrepreneur, corporate executive, business advisor, and startup coach. He is a business leader in the telecommunication, IT, and hospitality industries, and has over 2 decades of experience in the Asia-Pacific market.
A hurdle that I faced as an entrepreneur was getting my co-founder to leave the business that we'd set up years ago. As things had turned out, we were spending a lot of time and money on new product development, product research, hiring some people who could build what we were looking for. And my business partner, who was in charge of sales, while we were focused on the product side, we dropped the ball on the sales side. So revenues were dropping and dropping rapidly. And we got to the stage where we were getting to a cash crunch at that time. Also at that time, some of my team were actually complaining to me about how they were being treated by my business partner. So they were threatening to leave, and as they were key members of the team, trying to talk to them and placate them and get them to stay, and then talking to my business partner about what he'd done, etc. Okay, so that was the big hurdle really on that. So we sat down and talked about it, and initially we sort of saw that we needed to focus on the business and not on these issues which were getting to us. But I guess it turned to the point where we were constantly arguing, constantly blaming each other for things, and constantly blaming each other for why the business wasn't succeeding. And then had to explain that to the shareholders. At that stage, one of the shareholders had actually got us together to sit down and nut all this out. And we did, but it got nasty pretty quickly. And, it's quite unpleasant. And we did get to the point where we agreed that he would leave the business and be paid up for his shares, of course. Now, that involved getting lawyers, expensive lawyers, to come up with the terms of the exit, how much he would be paid, how he would be paid, who would take over ownership of his shares, all those sorts of business ownership type issues to get nutted out. And of course, during that time, I was less focused on the business. My business partner was in charge of sales. Well, guess what? Sales were not coming in. And it was quite a traumatic experience for me personally, and quite a blow to the business in terms of its commercial viability and profitability on that front. People had warned me, had told me, in fact, what a bad thing it is to get into business with a friend. And I dismissed it. I thought that was a great thing to be in business with a friend. And I still do. But I do something differently. Firstly, I think the most important thing is you get into business with a friend or whoever, is have a director's agreement drawn up. Lots of things can go into the director's agreement, but in terms of what would you do if one of the business partners had to leave the business for whatever reason, whether amicably or not, and how that would be all structured in terms of the exit, the shareholding, the payout times, the confidentiality, any non-competes, all those sorts of things. And you know what? It's probably a good thing to do that right up front when you never anticipate that you would ever get to that nasty stage and when things are still pally. So, like I said, I think it's okay to get into business with a friend. Just have something documented and agreed should things not work out.
To receive a complimentary copy of the Progressive Partnerships book for entrepreneurs on Kindle or audiobook, plus loads of other goodies at the intersection of investing and small business, go to callumlang.com now.